How's it going, YouTube? Matt Wilson, 365 Fitness, bringing you a chest and arms workout as it says in the title. So started off no weight warm up, 1 plate warm up, then started on 2 plates for 3 solid. I'm taking my form absolutely spot on at the minute. Basically, I was going to do pause reps, but I didn't really feel up to it. This is a workout on 3 hours sleep, so you can imagine how shit I felt, especially doing a strength program. You need all the energy you can, and I just didn't have it. So that was my first set. This is my final set of the 3. I did 5 sets of 3, so by now I was pretty tired anyway on the flat bench. So I was trying to keep it nice controlled on the way down, and just obviously grinding out on the way up. So I decided to drop it from 2 plates to 1 plate just to burn myself out, because while I'm very focused on getting stronger at the minute, I'm also wanting to grow as well. So I'm not going to completely neglect the hypertrophy rep range. So I see I strip it down to 1 plate each side, and I did some pause reps on this, so it was like speed reps, as if you would you're working on like your power sort of thing, if you would be like athlete sort of training. Right, so at the minute I've obviously changed from doing a straight up row split to doing a push pull legs, and this is much better for me. I like the way you can be more methodical with it, and I like working with numbers at the minute. I'm really into like the whole systematic approach of higher reps 1 week with a weight, lower reps the next week with a higher weight, and then increasing that like in a 3-week cycle I do. So I'll be doing like 5 5s 1 week, 5 4s the next week, 5 3s the next week, with the weight increasing each week. However, the weight will be increasing, but the reps will be coming down. Then by the time I've done my 3 5s, I'll be able to do 3 4s, then it works way up to 5, and again, so it's a 6-week cycle to move up 1 set of weights in the 5 reps. So I moved from flat bench to incline dumbbells, and I was absolutely gassed by now, because usually I can get 46 kilo dumbbells up pretty solidly, but you see here I'm doing 40 kilo dumbbell with really good form, but just I was absolutely burnt out by now. I mean, 3 hours sleep just isn't enough when you're training in the morning as well. I just woken up. So it's my 4th set of, I was going for 8 on 40 kilograms every single time on the incline. So I think I might have got 6 reps here, I think it was. I was just trying to keep my form really strict rather than cheating, which I was quite happy how I did manage to do. I remember to breathe and keep my back nice and flat and not let my bum come off the seat. So completely stuck here, as you can see, but man, to breathe it out. It's all about them sort of reps where you can't really get it, that's where it counts, and that's what sort of separates you from the people who sort of give up and just drop them. So I dropped it down to 30 kilo dumbbells, so this is like 75 pounds I think it comes out as. I'm just not very good at conversions, so I'll put it on the screen somewhere. And this is just a complete burnout, but I really did like underestimate how hard this would be. So I got 1 rep, half a rep, half a rep, half a rep, up, 1 more rep. It's like 5 in total if you count the half rep. So I decided that wasn't quite enough, and I grabbed the 14 kilo dumbbells and did some incline chest flies. Now I used to avoid these like the plague, because I used to have really weak elbows and shoulders, but recently my shoulder mobility has become like not an issue at all, and I'm absolutely smashing out like new PRs on shoulder press and dumbbell shoulder press. So they're getting a lot stronger, so I thought I might as well capitalise on that and do some something other than cable flies, and did dumbbell flies. As you can see, really good contraction. You can see the stretch like in my side of my chest, which is what you should get. I mean, it doesn't really matter how bent your arms are. I've been telling my clients this now, that it only matters where the elbows go, not where the wrists go. So I went straight from doing my dumbbell flies to doing like downward cable flies. Got really good contraction, nice squeeze there. As you can see where the chest muscles are squeezing, because I'm fairly lean at the minute, so you can see the stretches and the squeezes in the muscles. And I was going for like 10 to 12 reps here, but that weight was too light, so up the weight. I think this is on about 15 kilo each side now, and still really decent form in my opinion. I mean, I probably could go a bit further back, but there's no point in straightening my shoulders, because at that point my elbows are pretty much all the way out and my chest muscles will be fully extended anyway, so there's no reason for me to go much further back, as long as I'm getting towards the middle, which I am, as you can see. I'm holding it for like a millisecond. So I did a little drop set to finish off. I always like finish off and drop sets, obviously you've noticed that by now. So this workout's obviously quite long, so I've got a bit of talking time to do, and I thought I'd just sort of address the subject of like intensity versus consistency. Now, as a beginner, consistency is the main deal. It's and that's the difference between a habit and something that you're forced to do. So once your workouts become consistent, that's when they become a habit. But once it becomes a habit, you can sometimes get complacent, and this is when you hit up the intensity and start doing like methodically hard workouts where your aim is to break down muscles rather than just a workout. Like some people say they don't go in the gym for a workout, they go in the gym to train, and that is a much better way of thinking about it. Like going to the gym for a workout is just going in to move some weights and not really have an aim in mind, whereas training's like you've got a goal at the end of it, and I think that's a much better way to think about it. You need to be methodical in everything you do, really, and it's good to work with numbers. It's good to have a clear set out goal at the start of every single workout and try to achieve these goals as often as you can, and if you're not achieving them, you need to adjust why, and just make sure it doesn't happen again. Like I didn't hit my numbers as well as I could have today because I didn't sleep enough, but I can't help that. I had my wisdom teeth coming through, so I had some serious pain. I couldn't sleep at all the night before, but I got up anyway. I had like 3 or 4 energy drinks and a cup of coffee, went to the gym, and I was in there for about an hour and a half. To be fair, I did really try my absolute best, but this is some close grip bench press, and I can normally bang out like 90 kilograms for absolutely perfect form until basically I get bored. So I did 60 kilograms as you saw, then I did 80 kilograms because I was already burnt out, and I dropped the weight and did another drop set because I just feel if you can't get the weight you're aiming for, you might as well increase the intensity and the volume of the exercise that you're doing, so you're still going to be having the same amount of time and attention. It still takes the same amount of effort for your muscles to perform the movements, and you'll still break down the muscle just as effectively. So that's why I keep my form pretty much perfect, but I think I've actually started doing my bench press normally is a bit too narrow. That's why I struggle to get the reps up so much, and I can see the angle at my elbow is pretty much the same on my close grip bench press as it is on my normal bench press, which I need to obviously address. I need to start put my elbows a bit wider, maybe flare them a tiny bit but not too much. So obviously it was a push day, so I went from my close grip bench press to rope extensions, try to keep the form really strict, and try to keep the elbow not pinned on the hip like some people do. I try to step back from the cable. I don't know why, but it just feels like this hits my tricep better because there's no brace, and I have to rely on my triceps entirely to hold the weight in place and control the weight up and down. Whereas if you've got it on your hip, you can sort of lean your weight into it a bit more, and then you've got your hips sticking the elbows in place and making sure the weight's constant. Whereas now it's purely tricep, and you can see my elbows aren't moving, I'm not bobbing up and down, the form's strict enough. And just like the superset, because my biceps weren't really that tired from the day before, so I supersetted my rope extensions with supinated bicep curls. And I normally do these seated, but there wasn't any benches spare near me, so I decided to do it standing. And to be fair, as long as your form's not terrible standing up, there's no reason why you can't just do it stood up. And I've really trying to address the size of my arms this year, in the off season, if you want to call it that, even though I don't compete. I'm trying to grow my arms by at least an inch by the time I'm finished with bulk. So I mean that's about 6 months time, which is more than enough time really to grow your arms an inch, especially when you're 20 years old and you've got quite small arms compared to the rest of your body anyway. I think my arms are probably about 16.5 inches at the minute, which is compared to like I've got near enough a 44-inch chest. It just doesn't really match. Like my shoulders are really broad. I've got really round like outside delts, like side delts, which makes the arms look even smaller, and I've got really thick forearms, which makes the upper arm look even smaller. So although yeah, it's great to have strong points, I'm not really doing myself any favours, you could say, because it makes the top of my arms look even smaller. So I've upped the volume on my arms completely, and I really feel this is going to help, and it has been helping. To be fair, I feel much stronger and much more comfortable doing heavier weights on my arms, which means obviously I'm doing something right. And at the end of this clip, you'll see me sort of smiling at somebody, and because there's the guy walking over to use the bench that my camera's like resting on, and he was just like dead awkward. I was like telling him to move it, but he's like, no, I won't say anything, like as if I get in trouble. But you're allowed to film in the gym. I'm training at the minute, so it's absolutely fine. He just looked completely confused as to why some strange 20-year-old man would be videoing himself in the gym. So anyway, I waited till he finished and I got back to it. I did some straight up bar tricep push downs, and I quite like these actually as well. They used to hurt my wrists, but all of a sudden all my injuries have just completely like alleviated themselves. I haven't really addressed them. I've just trained a bit smarter, and I think it's really important that when you have got an injury, sometimes you can train through small injuries. Like say, if your finger hurts, that's no reason not to deadlift, or if your thumb hurts, it's no reason not to deadlift. You need to just adjust your workouts. Whereas like my wrist was hurting a lot last year doing tricep pushdowns and rope extensions and that, so I didn't do them as much. And now this year, at least the start of it, I've managed to keep the same weight as I was doing, and my wrist isn't hurting at all. So I went from doing the straight bar pushdowns to doing hammer curls, supersetted with overhead tricep extensions with dumbbells. Some half 90 light in here, so I was quite happy with these this angle anyway, because it made me look like I do actually train arms a little bit. And I really like them doing these hammer curls because you can move your arm a little bit if you want to. Like, you don't have to keep it completely straight, as long as you're not swinging your body too much, because you're not going to get that much momentum realistically from moving your elbow, but you will get plenty of momentum from swinging your whole body into it. As you can see, I'm doing a tiny bit there, but I think I'll let myself off, to be honest with you, because I was absolutely fucked basically by now. I'd done so much volume, I was tired. But like, look how small my arms look here. Like, it just doesn't match. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, somebody tell me in the comments. I can't tell whether it's my triceps or my biceps that are lagging, but something isn't right. They just look minuscule. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so pretty much coming towards the end of the video, and I've taught you to use my own philosophy in this. Like I've told you guys before, when you're addressing your weak points, the basic thing is train it more, whether it's intensity, weight, the number of times you hit it per week. And I've done all these things with my arms this year, so I'm sticking to this workout for around 6 months, and hopefully I'll be able to share my progress with you and show you that, yeah, it is this simple. It is simple enough. Just do more. If something's too small, train it more, and if something's too big, if you think it's too big anyway, don't train it as much, or at least lower the intensity and just maintain it till your lagging body parts catch up if you wish. So that is literally the end of the video now. As always guys, thank you very much for watching and sticking around for like 11 minutes now. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and remember guys, we'll all get there eventually. And also just listen to how intense this music is in the gym.